Hey guys, and welcome back to Banjo-Kazooie for the second world of the game. This is Treasure Trove, Cove, one of my two favourite worlds of the game. Stay out of the fucking water, there's sharks!
Yeah, he says as he jumps in to pick up a blue-flavored fucking Jinjo.
Yeah, that's Snacker, the shark. He will try and eat you if you go in the ocean.
Well, Tom, that is as much as you deserve considering you failed miserably to jump into Treasure Trove Cove the first time, because you obviously stumbled at the end of the last part.
No, I didn't. That was an artistic way of ending the part, right?
A likely story.
Can I be part of this cutscene? No, I guess I'll just go. Okay.
There's proper bosses in, like, Banjo-Tooie that have, like, subtitles. Funny subtitles, obviously. But, I never really thought of Banjo-Kazooie as having proper bosses, but it's true, they're all like main enemies or set pieces in each world. And this guy here, Nipper, I believe his name is just a bit of an asshole. So you wait until he starts nipping, and you give him a bit of the rat-a-tat-rap, and boom, he's done.
So you nip him back, basically?
Oh yeah. Nothing like laser guy calm.
Also, sorry, just the shell crab creature, I was thinking crabby, and then you said rat-a-tat-tap, and I'm just like, just rat-a-tat and crabby, I'm just going into Pokemon now.
Yeah, well, it's Nintendo, mate, you are forgiven.
And also 90s.
Where the hell did he go? I mean, I know this is a shell. Did he just pack up and go into the basement? What's going on here? Oh, wait, he escaped from that hole, maybe.
I think it's implied he turned into the two smaller crabs, which are called snippets.
Okay. That's a bit odd, but whatever. Well, it's Banjo-Kazooie, am I surprised?
Mate, a bird is carrying a fucking bear on its back.
Yeah,
Cha? Yeah. How do we feel about beach worlds in video games? Treasure Trove Cove is one of my favourites, and I was actually shown a bit of music for a level in a fan game called Anton and Coolpecker, which is very Banjo-esque, and Colossus Coast's music, which you can find on SoundCloud, reminded me a lot of Treasure Trove Cove's theme. It's just like really lively, upbeat music, the sun is shining, the skies are blue. These are honestly my favourite types of worlds, the upbeat ones. I can't be doing like night stages, honestly.
I don't know, I kind of like a good old beach stage here and there, like especially like, I like the setting, for example, of like Wind Waker, where it's like just a big ocean kind of like adventure. There is also an indie game I play called Treasure Adventure Game, which I think is free on GOG, which kind of does the same thing but in more of a Metroidvania aspect. I just don't see enough, water-themed like beach area, so I'd like to see more of those.
I like the concept of beach levels, but I think the fact that water levels in particular can be slightly duffed up, and the fact that beach levels are quite frequently the water levels, it doesn't always quite work out as well as you'd hope. Although that said, the one thing that I am particularly disappointed that didn't happen with this particular level is that Grant Kirkhope didn't try and sample or use the "Oh, I Do Like to Be Beside the Seaside" song, considering you used Teddy Bear's Picnic for Grunty's lair.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny you say that, because in the original version of the theme, there was a little bit of a Beach Boys wipeout, like, bit in the middle of the song, how wipeout, do. Yeah, he was asked to remove that.
No bloody wonder.
The shock jump pad. I like to jump off the platform, go onto lower ground and then bounce up.
Why, is that just to kind of make you feel like your jump's doing something more than it maybe necessarily actually is?
Well, a little bit of that, but I like being at a lower level and then jumping higher, instead of just jumping across a gap, really.
God, even the fucking buckets talk and have eyes. Jeez, it's Mr. Bucket. See, you put eggs in his mouth.
And he's going to drain the water, and we can actually get into the sandcastle, which, if you're of the kind of variety of person who likes cheating, and just cheats in general, something that you don't really see much in video games nowadays, you're going to be coming back to the sandcastle a lot.
Well, you can see the usual cheats more in games, depending if you open up your wallet or not. Yeah, I much prefer just having, like, classic cheats in video games, and I actually remember reading about this in, like, GamePro. GamePro was my, video game magazine of choice back then, when I was able to get an issue of it here and there, and I just remember reading about all this, and thinking it was really kind of cool to have, like, a dedicated castle area towards that.
So we got to spell Banjo-Kazooie within the given time limit of 100 seconds. It's really fucking easy. The only real hard part about it is it doesn't, like, pan over the whole grid at any given time. So you could just be stuck looking for a letter and, oh, it was in the corner, just out of my, eye line the entire time.
Yeah, that is kind of mean. I mean, I think they probably could have made this a little bit more challenging for you, if only just because, I mean, they seem to give you a ridiculous amount of time to complete it.
Had to stop it on 64. Sorry, it just wasn't happening any other way. This is Black Snippet. Yes, that is its actual name.
Well, Black Snippet really proved, its name worth.
Yeah, it talked a big game, but unfortunately, we just got our third Jiggy, so we shall be moving on and forgetting he ever existed.
That seems to be a thing with pretty much most of the enemies in Banjo. Like, I mean, if you think about it in terms of enemies that have stayed in the cultural consciousness, Goombas, Koopas, Kamex, all of that, they're kind of very stuck in the gaming cultural consciousness. Like, everybody recognises them and knows them. But when it comes to pretty much all of the Banjo enemies, everyone's just like, yep, nope, that's just a thing. They get grunty, but that's about it.
You got Crab, you've got thing that looks like Mumbo Jumbo, Beehive. Beehive is actually an enemy later in the game.
Oh, God.
Well, I would think more because of the whole iconic nature of things like, Koopas and Goombas, things like that. You really kind of have, I believe a lot of it has to do with, like, the character design as well as, any sort of other personal context for that. I just don't think the generic crab enemies in this game really pop compared to more iconic creatures like Goombas and Koopas.
They went a little bit more, like, crazy and inventive in the second game. Like, 2E, for all my, like, qualms about it, does improve a lot of the stuff about Kazooie. I just feel Kazooie was a more streamlined and more well-planned, I would say.
Would you say that it was better structured?
Yes. Like, apart from, say, one world in Kazooie, you can do every world 100% the second you get into that world. But, much like Metroid, there's a lot of backtracking in 2E. Like, the first world you set foot in 2E, Mayhem Temple, I believe it's called, you ain't 100%ing. You need a lot of prep for that one.
Oh, that's not fun.
No. It's a great game as 2E, it's just, if it, came down to it and I wanted to play a 3D platformer, 9 times out of 10 it would be Banjo-Kazooie over 2E.
I mean, I guess that definitely does make sense. I mean, the thing is that I think in platformers in particular, it's very frustrating to have to return to levels when it's built in this particular setup.
Yeah.
Because there's something in the brain which just goes, I want to complete this 100% this time. I don't want to have to come back. And I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to make you do backtracking in terms of all that.
One big strength that Banjo-Kazooie actually has over Super Mario 64 is that whenever you got a star in Mario 64, it basically kicked you out of the level, and like if you wanted to try another mission, I guess it just had to load again. But then again, Mario 64 did come out in 96, I want to say?
Something like that, yes.
Furiously tapping away, try desperately to find the true date of Super Mario 64.
1996.
Hell yes! Sometimes I just get stuff wrong.
I mean, it's just sort of certain things stick in your memory. Like, the one thing that I always have that sort of stuck is that, despite the fact that the original Pokemon games came out in Japan, like 1996, and I think like they first had the ideas for certain Pokemon in 1993, it didn't come out in Europe until 1999.
Yeah. Well, they had red and green first, and we had like red and blue.
Yes.
I'm not even sure why they changed the color from green to blue, bringing it over. Were we just like the natural opposite attraction between red and blue, I guess?
a very Jaws-esque theme playing whenever Snacker comes into view. And the assholes that Rare are, they put one of the empty honeycomb segments right here in the water. Meaning, unless you go about it the right way, I'm not even sure if you can avoid Snacker when you go to get it, you're going to have to face that shark. You're going to literally have to swallow your pride, face your fears, and take that guy head on.
So you can't kill him at this point?
You can kill him, I believe, if you fart eggs at him when he's, like, by the shoreline.
Ah, the, rarely expected egg farting strategy.
Indeed.
Well, I mean, surely you could use the stereotype of if you punch a shark on the nose, then it swims away. I don't think that's quite necessarily scientifically correct, but apparently it's a thing.
Even the gold bars talk, I love it.
Do the credits talk when you beat the game?
No, but there is the typical, Rare kind of, oh, here are all the enemies in the game, and, they have, like, joke credits and such as well.
Yes, I have no idea why Bottles has a molehill up here without any dirt underneath. I guess he's just lying in his own filth. I wouldn't be surprised.
Don't question it, we'll be here all day. Oh, flying in Banjo-Kazooie. Yes, give me some of that.
I do like that they did introduce flying for Banjo-Kazooie, because there was the wing cap in Mario 64, but it always felt a little bit meh, so I'm quite glad that they expanded on it for Banjo.
It was kind of like the natural follow-up to the feather in Super Mario World. I was never very good with controlling either one. I think it's more skill-based, as opposed to Banjo, where as long as you've got red feathers, you can gain altitude and such.
So I know you just said that we shouldn't really be questioning this, but I have to question this, I'm afraid.
Okay.
2 questions.
Okay.
1, how does Bottles know how to fly? And 2, is he required to wear the glasses when flying? Does it say that on his license?
It doesn't mean he went flying himself, it just means he can activate the flight pads for Kazooie.
Well, okay. Is he a flight pad moderator for that kind of thing? Again, does he need the glasses for his license? This is important, because I don't want him flying around in the air hitting people because he wouldn't put on his fucking glasses.
But do you want me to use my N64 powers to throw you into the game and you can ask him yourself?
You have those?
I do. Don't fuck with me.
It's Captain Meh, the Game Master.
Captain Blubber is his name. I just whiffed having the jigsaw piece land on me. I was so pissed, because this was like my 6th or 7th retake. Don't do them as much for comms nowadays, but, apart from games like where we're playing live, like Shadow of the Colossus or Splatoon, I like to make sure I do as well as possible before I, put this stuff out for us to talk over.
So Tom, will you remember that as the day you almost caught Captain Jack Jigsaw Piece?
Get out. Leave the corniness to me, mate. Honestly, you can't cop it.
Yeah, no, I can't. Oh well.
And don't fuck with mimics.
These things are called lockups. They come in 2 varieties. 1, lockup, and 2, little lockup.
Is there like a lockup Neo? EX? Like if this game got ported over to Japan, did it go over to Japan? I assume it did, because I know they were doing stuff like Crash, Ratchet and Clank. Like, they actually revised Ratchet's model a little bit to make him more Japanese cutesy stuff.
He has massive fucking eyebrows, and I don't know why.
Yes, it did go to Japan in December. So it came out in America in June, came out in Europe in July, which is kind of a bit daft considering it was made in the UK.
Yeah.
But then it came out in December in Japan.
Man, I just skirted the edge of that lockup. I'm honestly surprised I didn't get hit there, but since we're on the subject of, like, box arts and the like, on the box art for Banjo-Kazooie, I forget if this is, like, for all territories or just the European one, you'll notice that there's, like, a giant Gruntilda in the background reaching out to Banjo as he, like, holds a Jinjo under one arm and he's trying to collect a jigsaw piece frantically. In Project Dream, one of the variations, I forget whether it was the SNES one or the N64 thing for the 64DD, there was a character who was a giant, and I think in one of the beta levels for Banjo-Kazooie, there was like something called Giant's Lair, something to that effect, and maybe that was just one of the bits of lore that they kept in the game. They had the witch, but she can be giant on the box art, so it's the best of both worlds.
Well, that seems more like one of those situations where, you have the villain looming in the background anyway, even if they're not actually giant in the thing. That's just kind of a trope that they have for those kind of posters.
Yeah, but this is rare, and they love leaving Easter eggs around their game, so I really want to put it past them.
But the Easter eggs have eyes and they fucking talk too.
Well, considering the eggs somewhere, I think, at some point have eyes, yes, the Easter eggs undoubtedly will have eyes as well.
Do the hills have eyes here? I hope not.
No, but in Mario they do.
Ah, okay.
Remember this, we'll be coming back to this. Not just yet, though. Gotta save something for the extras. I think it's about time I went down my notes and see what trivia we've got here. Alright, I've mentioned the Beach Boys thing. The beta name for Treasure Trove Cove was Hammerhead Beach. At the end of Banjo-Kazooie, all the characters, spoilers, are relaxing on a beach that has the same name. You can't actually get here or there through regular gameplay, but it can be accessed through a Game Shark code. Hammerhead Beach can be seen, much like Fungus Forest, in a picture at Banjo's house.
Ooh.
Yes. I just love the steel drums in this level screen. I'm sorry I'm gushing so much.
It's fine, it happens when you have a game that you really, really, really like.
I just wish I could have recorded it properly. I should look into getting a Dazzle again. Hard to believe it's been so many years since we used the Dazzle Platinum Eldragon.
Those were dark times, I admit.
I say we in, with massive...
I contributed a ton.
Yeah, with massive punctuation marks. You didn't record a jot of it, I did all that good shit.
I've recorded a few things, and I think that's enough of my contribution.
It's not meant to look like that. Emulator's being weird. Ah, well. Oh, a few beach levels that have just come to me now. Might as well pad out this commentary a little bit, I guess. Gelato Beach in Super Mario Sunshine. That was a pretty good one, except for those fucking cataquacks and the goddamn watermelon bollocks. Emerald Coast in Sonic Adventure, the iconic whale chase sequence. And, Sentinel Beach, I believe it was called, in Jak and Daxter. Lovely looking area. Great way to start the game, really. Well, it was one of the starting areas in the game, at least. Those things, yum-yums, by the way, stay clear of them, because if they hit you, not only will they take health, they'll steal eggs and feathers from you. They're nasty. Never like clams.
I believe it. Do they have, evil shrimp? Because I'm not a big shrimp fan, I have to admit. I don't really like a lot of seafood. The only seafood I used to eat was, Captain D's, and it's, cheap-ass cod, that kind of thing. Then I just got sick of it. I guess, the oils and vinegars they used were too much, and eventually I just kind of swore off fish altogether.
I'm just looking at my notes here. I told you that Grant Kirkhope was told to, alright mate, tone it down. We don't need no Beach Boys, mid-quill thing in this song here. It was Chris Stamper who didn't like it and told him to remove it. I accidentally wrote it down as Christ Stamper. Oh, typos. My fingers move quicker than my very slow-moving brain, what can I say?
It happens. I mean, it's very easy to typo things, and then you can end up with some absolutely beautiful typos. Sometimes they're hideous, but sometimes they're hilarious.
In every guide I've read, the jigsaw piece that we're about to get, the last one of the level actually, is listed first. They expect you to, I guess, come to the top of the level and look out, but I always like leaving this one till last because, as I've said many a time, I love scaling monuments and such to, get to the top in kind of like an assault course kind of thing.
Well, I suppose the other thing is the fact that, logically, your brain would go, I'll clear everything out on the bottom floor first and work my way up gradually to get everything.
Yeah.
That makes more sense when you're thinking about how to deal with a level.
I'm pretty methodical when it comes to recording playthroughs or just playing games in general. Really, I like to focus on certain areas, wipe them out, completely strip them bare of collectibles, and then move on to the next most seemingly important area until I'm done with the whole place really, and I have every treasure that my heart can desire. I like collectathons, as you can probably tell. I was really happy with my time for Treasure Trove Cove, honestly, because I think my usual time is roughly about 20 minutes. Yeah, impressive, eh? just laugh and say I'm great, and we can get on with the commentary.
You're great, Tom. Now don't mention it anymore.
I don't believe you, Helldragon.
You probably shouldn't.
Alright, we're done, so let's take the safe route down. Don't want to be sending Banjo flying off, because I think you will die if you fly off the mountain and hit the ground at this altitude.
Oh, that sucks. I have to say, there's a moment in Okami, I'm going to keep bringing that up because I'm still doing commentary for it at present, where you jump off where you can jump off a massive tower, and it's one of the most exhilarating experiences ever, because you don't take full damage because you're playing as a wolf goddess, and you just kind of leap from this ridiculous height and just fall. It's amazing.
Which tower was that? I'm trying to remember. Like
Cat Call Tower.
Shit, it's been a long time since I played Okami. I vaguely remember that.
It's the one that you have to kind of climb up the thing with catwalk on it, and there's loads of cats. And
Oh, I remember that now. Yeah, it's starting to come back to me. Yeah, that is a pretty good jump, I gotta admit.
And here we go. The Gruntilda's Lair Jiggy for Treasure Trove Cove. Consider that shit 100%ed good and proper.
Yeah, we're going to be taking this to a 100% completion body. They judge all video game runs to make sure they are 100% completed and full of obnoxious commentary.
And if it ain't 100%, if you ain't doing BK 100%, get the fuck out of my face. Sorry, I have certain rules for certain games. 100% for Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie, melee only run for Mirror's Edge, and you play Pokemon Silver because that's the best game out of Gen 2. I guess you could include Crystal, I guess.
Well, I had Pokemon Silver, so I have to agree with you there, Tom.
Yeah, exquisite opinions.
Thank you. I usually have those.
This is really useful, and thank you, Bottles, for bringing this up. If you just press Z, it will place them all at once. Just so triumphant. Like, yes, you have opened a new level!
Enter my toilet, Banjo, if you dare.
Well, keep that toilet comment in mind, it may come in useful later.
I bet it does.
You haven't seen most of the game, have you?
Well, I know bits here and there from years of vague exposure to it.
Well, Richie, you will probably know what I'm talking about then.
I believe I do, yes.
It's in the haunted house level.
Oh, wait, no, I remember the haunted house level, because that's Mad Monster Mansion, isn't it?
God damn it! The people I have to work with!
But I can't remember the specific thing that happens in that one.
I apologise in advance if I fanboy a little bit and get a little bit angry. It's kind of like Donnie not doing well in Star Fox 64. I just get a little bit irrationally angry. Anyway, the next level we'll be covering will be Clanker's Cavern, and that will be the last video of this week, so I guess we'll see you next time, where hopefully I get that Mumbo token, and yeah, we'll see you then. Bye bye!